I am back and I wanted to go ahead and just do kind of a quick check-in since I've been away for a weekend. I wanted to go ahead and do a quick check-in for each zodiac. We'll get back to doing full-length zodiac videos throughout this week, but I just thought it would be nice to get us caught up just a little bit and do something special for each sign. So I did a little pre-shuffle before getting on here because I wanted to figure out like what's the energy flow here right now for each zodiac, and we ended up getting an Ace of Cups and a Four of Wands. So there's a real sense of satisfaction, there's a sense of possibly love, there's a sense of personal fulfillment. This could be it's starting like the flow of looking at what makes my life balanced, what makes my life happy, what makes my heart feel full. Those are the kinds of things that we may see in this storyline, but that's kind of the overarching energy. Now, certainly there could be, heavy influence of romance and things like that, but I wanted to ask the question, if there's been some transformation, some shifts, some change, what things have kind of like taken on a new flow in characters' lives. Hi everyone, so great to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. Really great to see everybody. All right, let's go ahead and begin. By the way, just members, just know I'll be going live after this in our members only corner, okay? But for starters, let's begin. We're gonna go straight down the line. I'm gonna start with Aries. I will timestamp these at the end in the description box, but for starters, let's begin with Aries. What's changed for our Aries? Aries, what's the new flow? What's the new energy? It starts out real positive overall. We have the element of air, so we could have some changing thoughts. You notice that we have this beaker, almost like a little, almost like an Aladdin's little genie lamp that has been rubbed, only in this case it was like maybe, I'm picturing somebody like rubbing their temples, and all of a sudden their mind and calms and smooths out, and their thoughts become a little bit more easy to release stresses, and they start to have that transformative. We see the blue butterflies along with the little waft of aroma escaping from our genie lamp. Blue is a really rare color in nature, so it could even be that this is a little bit rare. These thoughts, these ideas, the way Aries is transforming right now, the energy flow, the ideas could be very unique, so might be a great time because I think Aries is less burdened right now based off of this card. They could very well have, even thoughts could come easier, but ideas could come a lot smoother and simpler. I want to say vocabulary is coming easier to our Aries, and it definitely has the vibe of some kind of healed energy. We have a Four of Pentacles. Yeah, blockages are definitely being released. Oh, Crystal Suzanne, thank you, you sweetheart. And welcome, Delana. We'll see you in the members corner after this, courtesy of Crystal Suzanne. You angel, thank you, as always, love. With this Four of Pentacles, you notice that we have all these gems. We have all these baubles. It almost feels like somebody found treasure. I don't know if somebody recently bought great jewelry or found something they were looking for, if Aries did something a little bit more precise, or if they're finding gems and pearls of wisdom. But blockages and the sensation of I need to hold on to this because I don't have enough, that is definitely easing in Aries' world. So some things are changing pretty dramatically, and it feels really solid. It feels really good for our Aries right now. We have got the World card, and we got the Lovers. Okay, Aries could be releasing a lover. Both of these cards came out just a little funky orientation, but I would mostly take the World card upright, and it turns out the Lovers is mostly sideways. This feels not so much like, well, it does feel like an ending, but also a beginning, but it's a very realistic viewpoint. If Aries is letting go of a lover, a situation, a scenario where perhaps, I'm not going to say they chose the wrong lover, but I think this says Aries realizes that people come into our life for, a reason, a lesson, a blessing, a season. And then that's a gift. And then sometimes they move on and we end up, receiving someone else in their stead. And life is full of meaningful connections, some of which last forever, some of which last a period of time, but they're all worthwhile for the lessons. I definitely feel like there's a huge energy of letting go for our Aries. That's the biggest change. They're not troubled by either what a connection was or if a connection is exiting their life. it just feels like somebody who's relaxing. You know, at the beginning I said I feel like I have this image of somebody relaxing their temples, but now I feel like their jaw is unclenching. I feel like their hands are unclenching. I feel this real sense of just like, shoulders are back, deep breath, and Aries is just relaxing into whatever this was, whatever this romance brought into my life. I receive it, and I also, you know, via con Dios, I send you onward, go with God. Thank you for gracing my life, and there will be another that graces my life. I really feel like there's this huge sense of acceptance. And I think Aries is already looking into a new direction. I think they already know that their kingdom, it exists someplace else. I think our Aries is moving onward. That is absolutely beautiful, and that is a huge sense of relaxation. Basically their journey begins again from this point forward, and the Aries knows that, and they're welcoming in that change. All right, happy birthday, Robert. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. I hope it's wonderful. All right, let me go ahead and find my pen. Uh-oh. Let me grab a different pen until I find my other. And let's go to Taurus next. Coming in at 6:14. All right, Taurus, welcome back, guys. I'm back, and I wanted to do a quick little message for each zodiac of what's changing. I feel like anytime I'm away, I'm like, I wonder what happened. I wonder what's going on with our zodiacs. So we'll get back to full-length videos after this, but I just wanted to start out this way now that I'm back in town. We start with the scrolls. So what might have changed, or the energy shift maybe for Taurus, has much to do with, I look at scrolls as almost hidden information passed down from generations kind of information. You know, I think of the Dead Sea Scrolls, I think of, you know, all kinds of ancient, you know, the halls of wisdom, the Library of Alexander, you know, parchment paper with, you know, that scribes had to painstakingly, you know, write each note, each piece of information, each sentence, and it had to be recorded, and it had to be saved someplace sacred, someplace safe. So I feel like for Taurus, the thing that's changing is, sure, our Taurus could be discovering some kind of really important information. They could be unlocking some kind of internal gift, some kind of secret known only to themselves, whether this is something esoteric, or maybe this is unlocking a gift that they possess. We definitely have knowledge coming to Taurus, and I do feel like this is more of a mystical vibe. We do have a document though that has a seal, like an official seal on it here as well. So I don't know, maybe there's like an initiation process, maybe there's something going on. Wow, we have a King of Wands. There could be that Taurus is receiving, maybe this is looking through old letters, reading a will. It is an important document, but it comes along with this really heartfelt energy. A King of Wands, this could be a message coming in from the King of Wands, or maybe this is the Taurus saying, I want to write my life story. This is going to be my own record. This is going to go into a time capsule that I create. This is the legacy of Taurus's wisdom, and it's going to be written from my heart. It could be that Taurus is jotting down their own important ideas, the things that they've recognized in their life. Seven of Wands, and we have these guards standing sentinel. I definitely feel like if there is a vibe here for our Taurus that is almost, this is how we overcome struggles. This is how a character would think about life and step beyond those boundaries of maybe what's known versus what's intuited. And it kind of comes across like Taurus is able to find a way to like express this information that is pretty special. It's pretty, if it is like in the realm of the mystical world, maybe this is just Taurus getting in touch with their intuition, but they want to write down some great ideas that they've had. This might be a terrific time frame for Taurus to express the things that they know in their heart. Maybe they've never done this before, and these are carefully guarded, closely held, not even, sometimes it's the secrets we hold for ourselves that become more apparent to us, and then to find the right words to express it, the right words to, yeah, Ace of Cups has to do with self-love. I almost feel like this Taurus could write like a perfect, you know, like self-help book or something, but it comes from their own heart space. It comes from this beautiful energy Maybe it is a little gift of the fairies, or the wisdom that comes just from the softer, more gentle spaces in one's heart. But it feels like Taurus is either tapping into some understanding, some deep, like, ability to tap into their own personal love, the love of their own life, the happiness, the calmness, the support that they receive from the universe. But I also feel like they're going to be able to convey this in their own words, and it could be very helpful to others many years down the road. Maybe Taurus is like, writing a letter to their descendants. Maybe this is Taurus writing a letter for their children, that they'll put in their safety deposit box. So 85 years later, their children will one day read these pieces of wisdom. It just feels like maybe it's just for the week. Write down some personal affirmations, jot down some great ideas, and journal when we're in a good vibe and we write things down, and then we come back the following Monday and read them and go, oh, what a lovely energy I gave myself. What a lovely, set of, moments that were captured, pieces of support. I don't know, this feels very much like Taurus is jotting down really important thoughts that are very, very elevated, but they'll either come back to these thoughts or someone else will. So really lovely. All right, in just a minute we'll move on to the next, but Jimmy Senkushi, stop scamming people, you say. Well, darling, I'm not scamming anybody because A, I don't sell anything, B, I'm a fictional storyteller, and so I'm not really sure how anybody's getting scammed, but I do wish you well someplace else, honey. It sounds like you got a lot of anger in you since you're doing all that all caps screaming, so I hope you have a better day someplace else, hun. All right, next up we got Gemini coming in at 11:58. Here we go, Geminis. So we're taking a look at whatever has changed, Geminis. So what has changed, hopefully, is a really good flow. Hopefully, I think anytime there's an opportunity for change, there's an opportunity to see life in a different slice, in a different way. So we have got the chalice, the cup, and we have element of air. Okay, so for our Gemini, our vibe here is, it's love, it's thoughts. What was it? Aries who got this first, the second card here. Gemini is the only one who's gotten 2 cards for the starting point. I'm not surprised everything keeps coming out really positive, because that's the overarching message for this entire series, but I'm still surprised at what profound, you notice that there's this huge flow going outward. I feel like Gemini is completely sending love and good thoughts to everyone. I mean, this could be an energy where if Gemini thinks of every person, they might close their eyes someplace safe, calm, and not while they're driving, obviously, but they may close their eyes and send a lovely image of positivity and abundance, or a nice thought that they associate with every person in their life that's important to them. They may have this moment where they go, you know what costs nothing to be kind? You know what costs nothing for me to hold somebody in my thoughts for just a moment and say, you know what? I love you, or I loved you, and I wish you well. I wish you, oh gosh, there's a great song by We Are Augustines. It's in my head right now. Something about May You Keep You Well, I think is the title of it. Really nice song, actually. At the end of it, there's he collaborated with, I think, some Sudanese singers, and it's just an incredible piece of music. It totally moves your heart. But I feel like that is the message here is I want to send goodness out. I want to send love out. I think of the people that are important to me, and I do feel like this is Gemini projecting it to others. I don't know what that means for themselves, but right now it seems like Gemini is this huge ambassador of goodwill. We have a 9 of Wands. It's interesting because Gemini themselves needs to do some healing, but they're choosing to say, if I have some wounds that I've been healing from, I can imagine, I can empathically understand that other people have probably had the same kinds of wounds, and I want to send them the kind of support that maybe I wasn't fortunate enough to have, but I'm doing better now. We have the Temperance. Denise said, thank you, Angel. You're so generous. Thank you, honey. This this is amazing because this is a Gemini who I think that their good karma is going to come back tenfold, because the way they are choosing to behave, their life isn't perfect. They actually have plenty of their own wounds and plenty of moments. You see those luminous eyes. I bet you this, first off, this Gemini could have gorgeous eyes, but I'll bet you their eyes are very expressive. And I bet you they see a lot with those eyes. They see other people's wounds. They empathize. They can consider how other people are feeling because, hey, I've been there too. Maybe I still am there, but you know what? I can actually try to make the world a better place. This Temperance card, Sag energy, yes, it came out sideways, but that's only because there's a flow of energy. I always think of this as when we open up valves so that things can flow in two directions. I think this is, whether Gemini knows it or not, I think they're about to have compassion and empathy brought right back into their life, possibly at a time where they could really use it. But it all begins with the fact that they sent it out first. We have the Magician in the reverse. That is definitely the Gemini Virgo energy, where if this Gemini does not think, and I would say they don't think that what they do makes that big of a difference, I would say, oh goodness, they couldn't be more wrong. If Gemini has felt like, I'm fooling myself to think that I'm going to change the world just by thinking good thoughts or sending other people good vibes or giving a compliment to a person that I just randomly feel empathically drawn to, that I can see they're having a bad day, even if I have no idea why that strikes my mind. I can see it, I can feel it. I'm going to act kindly toward them for reasons unknown, but it's ridiculous. It won't make a change. It will, though. This is the Gemini doesn't realize just how powerful that energy of support and kindness is. I really think that this is going to be coming back to them at a time where I don't know if they realize how much they could really use the kindness or the support or the friendship here. We have got the Queen of Cups in the reverse, and we got the Four of Wands upright. That is fantastic. So Gemini might have been treated poorly by someone that is in a karmic energy, whether they're masculine or feminine. This is somebody that could be very emotionally unkind, even like ice cold, or intentionally trying to take other people's power away. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because this karmic cycle that this character is in is not going to play a role in Gemini's life much longer. Gemini's life is shifting into that Four of Wands, and we can see all of these kind of like these jellyfish floating up in the sky, and jellyfish represent really ancient wisdom. But we also have kind of like, when you send up those little what do you call them, like the lanterns, and you send those up into the night sky, like in memory of. But this feels very celebratory. This feels very happy, and the Four of Wands is always about a balanced life. So that what we talked about with the energy flow, all the goodness that Gemini is sending out to others, flowing right back into their life, even though they don't realize that's going to be the outcome. It kind of like washes this Queen of Cups in the reverse clean and replaces her energy flow with balance, harmony, support. I don't know, this could even be, I don't know if this has to do with love and romance per se, but the Four of Wands can talk about marriage. It can talk about Gemini ending up having everything that they have wanted fall into place. If they have desperately wanted someone who would be kind and compassionate and loving the way they are with others, that's coming in for them. If they have needed, someone who has been plaguing them with unkindness to give them, reprieve, that's also coming in. So it all goes from, or starts with Gemini's own energy, though. Boy, that's a beautiful, beautiful character we just described. All right, thank you again for being here, guys. Next up, let's go into Cancerian's storyline. Now, if you're ever looking for the full-length Cancerian videos, just know that I do those on my other channel, Tarot Dog. It's the only Zodiac that I do over there. Otherwise, I do all Zodiacs here on Kate's Regretless Life. But I moved Cancer over there simply because this channel got so content-heavy that it was too much, and Cancerians never knew when their videos came out. They got swallowed up. So if you've ever wondered where is Cancerian, they're over on Tarot Dog every Tuesday and Saturday. All right, so here we go. The message, we got quite a few of these. What has changed in Cancerian's world? We have elemental spirit. We have armor. Ooh, we have kind of like a tip of the hat to like the Spartans, which is kind of like, there's a huge sense of austerity here. but that change in, I feel like there's a softening in the protective energy. We have the house. Oh, so Cancerian could be really feeling safe, feeling comfortable, feeling cozy in their house. Now that could talk about their emotional house, or that could talk about literally their location. I actually feel like it is talking about both. And we have herbs. So somebody could be cooking, or somebody could be, like saging their house, using different like aromatics to really increase the vitality in their home space. And we have coins, pentacles. Oh, we have a lot of abundance coming in. So the changes right now seem to have much to do with not only the spiritual self, but also the tangible 3D world. I feel like Cancerian is starting to feel very protected. They're feeling very comfortable. Maybe they feel like they are finding an energy shift in their home. They feel like they've saged their home of any negativity. They have brought in better energies. We've got a 5 of Swords, and that is in the reverse. This is nice. Well, it's kind of tilted downhill, but that is really nice to see. I wonder if there was an argument or disharmony in the household, and there was a lot of conflict, there was a lot of drama, there was, hurt feelings, there was unkindness, and that's all being calmed down, like the argumentative energy. Look at that. It's being replaced with the Strength card. It's being replaced by this profound sense of, how do I want to say it? Not even just, again, this is about protection. I feel like Cancerian has a massive protector in their life right now. Maybe this is the spiritual protection. We did start out with the spiritual aspect here, but perhaps this is talking more about Cancerian feels really protected by the divine right now. But I think it's more than that, because we have the spiritual world here, we have the tangible world, we have the emotional self that feels safer and calmer, but we also have a location. A person's home feels cleansed of negative energy, and then we have no more like fighting and arguing in that 3D realm, and the protection coming in from the 5D realm, and the sense of power and peace. I really think that Cancerian has cleansed I'll say their entire life of people that were not bringing in great vibes, and that is impacting everything around them. Their house feels better, their energy feels better. Maybe they cleaned up their contact list in their cell phone. They changed and said, I'm not gonna have people that only bring drama into my life. I'm gonna go ahead and change my number, block certain people, delete old emails, not be accessible to certain people that were bringing in drama. But I'm also gonna heal energies with those that I could have less drama with, and that I could have a good flow with. I'm ready to protect my home, protect myself, my spirit, my energy, and I'm doing so. And with that mindset, it's kind of like everything feels cleaned and everything feels like divinely guided and protected at this point. Very nice energy for our Cancerian. I love seeing that catharsis of all that. All right, next up, let's go to the Leo energy. Hi, everybody. So good to see you. The Leo energy is coming in at 23, 22. All right, Leos, because I've been away for a long weekend, I feel like we need to first just briefly touch base on what has changed for our characters. Now, I'll be back to doing full-length Zodiacs after this for all the rest of the week, but I just want to do something kind of special to say hi to everybody. All right, we start out with robe. Is Leo changing clothes? Is Leo changing and when I say clothes, I'm talking about their external self. Like, when we get a different job, we wind up in a different uniform. When we get, sometimes even like change something in our life, we change what other people see. This could be, I'm feeling like, how our sun sign is kind of the image that we project outward that other people see of us. Versus like the moon sign is kind of the internal version of ourselves that we know exists, but we don't necessarily demonstrate to everybody else. I feel like there is something external that our Leo is going to be shifting into. So they are either intentionally showing the world a different version of themselves. And this looks very regal. This looks very regal, and it looks very maybe samurai-esque. So there's a tremendous amount of honor. There's a tremendous amount of leadership role. Not unusual maybe for a Leo, but the change here is what we're focusing on. So Leo is about to, it's funny though, because it's not like armor. even though that definitely looks like a fancy outfit that somebody would be wearing, it looks like the outfit of leadership, but it's robes, it's soft flowing robes, which to me speak less of somebody who's like, oh, I'm going to be the, hard hitting CEO of this company, and more like maybe a spiritual leader or somebody who leads just with a softer hand and yet is so much more powerful. This is a character who doesn't have to walk in and tell everybody, hey, I own this place. Hey, I'm in charge of this. Everybody listen to me. This is just like this natural grace. I think that this Leo really conducts themselves with the most authentic version of power that they've ever had, but it's also, they lead with a soft hand. We've got an Ace of Pentacles. We have a Ten of Cups. This is amazing. Something in Leo's life is about to flow with a much easier, money on one hand could really flow a lot smoother for them. Their relationship with money could get a lot better, but it also brings about happiness. Maybe this is because Leo is cherishing their time that they get to spend doing the things that they enjoy with the people they love. So let's put it this way. Leo could be changing jobs because they actually want to enjoy what they do, earning money. And that alone could bring in much better money for them. But they also are more concerned with, the reason I want to change, say it's a career path change, the reason I want to do that is because I don't want to come home stressed to the people that I love. My time with my people is so important. Or this is Leo saying, I want to change something about my career, my job, so that I have more time with my family. Ironically, though, that brings in a much better relationship with finances. This is so, so beautiful. This is Leo really being the leader of their life, but in doing so, and doing so from like the heart space, leading with the heart, everything else falls into place. The money actually comes in because they're making choices from their heart space that are for the benefit of happiness and the benefit of those they love. This is so beautiful. I feel like Leo's going to have a lot more time to spend with people that they care about. Page of Swords and the Strength card. If anything, I think that this Leo is going to be able to, here's Leo in their strongest sense. This is actually the card that I bought this deck for. I just fell in love with it. And so I gotta say, this very much like Leo coming into their own. Leo is just now starting to learn the power of how good things happen to them when they take one right step in the right direction. It's not easy to decide to make a change. It's not easy to step into a role of leading one's own life with a soft hand. It's not easy to do that. It takes a lot of courage. And Leo has figured that out. But this is the tip of the iceberg. They have a lot more to learn and explore. They're going to find a lot of things fall into place for them now that they are leading this way. It's absolutely beautiful. It's almost like we would talk about Leo has discovered this way to manifest, and they realize it's like dawning on them that every time I do the brave thing that is the right thing, my life works out for me. Wait a second, I wonder how many other things could I apply that thought process to? Leo is like, I think, starting to mentally gather ideas of what else would I like to do the brave thing for? What else does my heart guide me? It's really about listening to Leo's own heart space more so than they ever have, and making decisions, even if they're scary decisions, to do the things that their heart is, whispering to them. And I think they're about to have some really nice outcomes. Oh, that's a lovely one. That just gave me chills. Denisa, I do too. That's one of my favorite cards I've ever seen. All right, next up, let's go to Virgo. Virgo's coming in at 2853. All right, Virgos. Hey guys, nice to see all my Virgos out there. So now that I am back, I've been away for a few days. I just wanted to get us started right by checking in with each zodiac, because I don't do this very often, and I think that I should a little bit more, especially to say, hi, I'm back. Let's see what's changed for each zodiac. I will timestamp these at the end. All right. Virgos. Virgo had to go and be complex. We have constellations. So it's, for Virgo, what has changed is Virgo has either started to put together all kinds of information that are going to be stringing together, like, thoughts stringing together like constellations, or this is that Virgo has started to perhaps think about every zodiac simultaneously. This feels like Virgo is either pulling all of the different attributes that are maybe in this particular character's chart and pulling it all together. Somebody could be going through their natal chart right now, really wanting to learn more about the different attributes that they themselves may possess. They might be looking at this for, you know, inspirational sense, but it feels like Virgo is there. It's broad. There's a lot of different ideas that they're pulling together right now. We have spell jars, so they may be sending out little wishes. They may be sending out little, or even, I want to say, uncorking little wishes that they had that they put on the back burner a long time ago. And then we have element spirit. So definitely a lovely vibe here for the Virgo on this. This feels like their life is about to get really busy, but it's because this Virgo is, how do I say it? They're energetically full. They have so much so much music that has not yet come out of them, so many ideas that they put in little jars and put on shelves, and they're kind of like opening up everything all at once. I'm picturing somebody who is like opening up, you know, like a pantry. And if they ever did, like, let's say canning, or if they had a whole bunch of different, you know, storage tubs or something like that, they're opening up not just one to see what's in there. They're not even looking for one thing. They're just opening everything up. This could be somebody who's going through like their office and their studio, and they are uncovering all these half-painted canvases, or they're pulling out all these half-written manuscripts, and they're going back and they're realizing there are so many things that my soul has wanted to do, and all of a sudden I need to open all of it up, all at the same time. Okay, very busy Virgo. Very, very busy Virgo right now. Let's see. So we have a Page of Pentacles, and we have the Five of Cups. I gotta say that the other thing that's changing for Virgo is I feel like they're I'll say mining for information, because they want to know what is it that is making them feel like there's something undone or unfinished. They can't quite put their finger on what it is. Like, okay, let's say if we're cooking in the kitchen and we go, okay, I made this batch of sauce, but I taste it and I go, something's missing. What is it? And you rummage through your cupboards and you take out a couple different seasonings and you taste the sauce again, and then you take a whiff and you go, no, the smell combined with that flavor, I don't think it would be oregano. You put the oregano off to the side. Okay, let me pick up this one. Tarragon. No, I don't think that's it. Cinnamon. Well, maybe that's it. That's what the sauce is missing. It feels like Virgo is doing something like that. They're opening everything up because they're looking for either a piece of information that they didn't have, or something that they're feeling in particular. I'm hungry to do something. There is this thing that I need to still do for my soul. What is it? I gotta find what is the thing that I am missing out on. And it's because there's a little bit of melancholy in them. So this is an interesting, it's because it's like, lots of times if somebody's trying to figure out like, why am I not happy? We would think of it as oh, this is a sad story. It's not. This is almost like Virgo is putting on their little detective hat and going, I can't wait to figure out what this thing is that I need to address, or what this thing is that I'm hungry for, what this thing is that makes me feel a little bit like I got this unfinished business. It is definitely part of Virgo's healing. We have got this little Nine of Wands here. I say little, I don't mean to minimize whatever thing Virgo needs to heal from, but rather just to say that little creature looks little. This looks like the little loneliness that is held inside of Virgo, and they're addressing it. Where is that coming from? Two of Swords in the reverse. You know, I think this is Virgo realizing they were holding on to a hurt or a pain that they didn't realize, and it was making them feel a sense of maybe a sense of abandonment, a sense of loneliness. This is Virgo freeing that, because they're willing to look for it and look at it and say, wait a second, there's all these different things that I care to do. There's all these different wishes and hopes and things that I've wanted to do in my life. As I start looking back over all the different things that this is like a multifaceted, talented, amazing Virgo that they are not a one-trick pony. This character has tons of different either friends, or maybe they've had a lot of different lovers, and they've had great experiences in their life, and they've had a lot of people that they have awesome memories with, but maybe they've been looking for, what is that? Why do I have one little hurt in me? Where did I pick up this one negative thought from? they're putting their finger on it because Virgo is trying to heal, and they are opening things up, and they are letting that, it could have been a pain that came from some experience with an air sign, and maybe Virgo didn't realize that they needed to let that go. The Two of Swords, when it goes into the reverse, we're unblocking information, and we have kind of a sense of loneliness here. I really think that Virgo needed to do a little bit of digging, open up all the tubs and bins of stored memories. They're very, I think that this Virgo is ready to get busy doing some really wonderful things in their life, and they don't want to carry with them any unnecessary luggage, or they need to identify what is the thing that had been pulling them down just a little bit, and they've put their finger on it now, and they're fully releasing it. Let me get one more on that, because that Two of Swords came out in the reverse. So it is something about an energy of a loneliness. Okay, that was an aggressive shuffle. Four of Wands. Oh, Kimmy, thank you, Angel. You are so generous. Thank you, hon. Always. This comes across as, with the Four of Wands, first off, Virgo is headed for kind of the best time of their life next. Virgo is headed for the most balanced outcome. Virgo is headed for the most well put together usage of all of these thoughts that they're uncovering. Virgo is, you know, when we are willing to go back in time and start looking at a vast array of life experiences, we have tons of good memories that we get to stir up and remind ourselves of. We also maybe get to identify that one thing that was kind of painful, that one thing that the Virgo was had been blocking them, and they're releasing it. And it could have been, literally, she's releasing all of this, well, this is tons of ancient wisdom with all this jellyfish floating above her now. But we see her raising her arms up and releasing something, saying, I get it. Oh my God. Okay, it makes perfect sense now. I can let this go. I didn't either miss out on the right person, the love of my life. I don't have to feel abandoned by them. It's that my Four of Wands life is still up ahead. You know, it really feels like there was a sense of either loneliness that they were carrying, or a sense of grief or abandonment, and they didn't realize how much that impacted them, and they are free of it from this point forward. That's all because this Virgo bothered to pay attention to, I want to get to the bottom of this, and I want to release this once and for all. Is there, hang on, I just feel like since this is very much about a healing energy, let me grab one card for healing. Sorry, this one's a little bit longer. I asked for one, but we got two. We have dreams and we have self-sabotage. You know, I think that Virgo, it might be saying, you know what, I realize I kind of had an unrealistic attachment to something, and that was what was holding me back. Okay, I can let it go now. You know, and keep in mind, uncovering all of this, interesting information, and all of the knowledge that Virgo has sifted through, and all the memories that they've sifted through. I think all of this is turning out to be like a really great volume of positive memories that have been stirred up, as well as focusing on what was that one thing that was still hurting that I had to heal from. Virgo's figured it out. That is awesome. That was a very refreshing storyline. All right, next up, let's go to Libra. Libra's coming in at 3814. And thank you again, Kimmy and Denisa. You guys are so wonderful. All right, next up, I got Libra. Libra, I am back. I've been gone for a little bit, and so I thought I would kind of like get back and do a quick pull for each zodiac to ask what has changed for a zodiac. Okay, that one went way far away. We have the familiar frog, and we've got this little winged angel, little tree frog, or poison arrow dart frog. So I look at this first off, like Libra has a little helper, a little, how would I say it? We'll say this is the little guardian angel of Libras, who happens to be represented by a frog with very colorful little wings, which I love. Frogs, considering that they are like those amphibians, right? They can kind of exist in both worlds, right? The aquatic world, and then the, above ground, land breathing, air breathing creature. That duality says, I think, well, that first off, that's a great little guardian to have for a Libra, since Libra is all about balance and balancing things that maybe don't necessarily fit together perfectly. But I want to say that there's possibly a little message coming in from the divine for Libra, but it's obviously got something to do with walking in two worlds or having a foot in two different worlds. So let's see what that little message is from the divine. Because my question was, what's changed for a character? Wow, we got angel wings again. We have a 3 of Swords with the angel wings, but we also have this Page of Swords sideways. Okay, so the message here coming in from the divine for Libra is to give Libra support if they have had some kind of hurt feelings. It feels like they have, like the divine is coming in and saying, hey, we were sad right along with you, but we got you. Libra, we got you. There's something that you're not seeing yet, and that makes us sad that you're not seeing it, because if Libra has either been feeling really hurt and feeling really overlooked, it's like the angels are saying, hey, no, we're right here, but you didn't notice that part yet. Hang on, we got you. Ooh, 7 of Cups. This is very much about the options, the opportunities. I think that the little angel here is trying to encourage our Libra, like, pay attention to the dreams, pay attention to all the thoughts, the subconscious things that flit in seemingly randomly. Pay attention to the things that, standing in line at the grocery store and some song comes on, you absentmindedly are singing along. Pay attention. Why is that hitting the subconscious? I mean, Libra's only thinking about checking out with their groceries, but what are the lyrics of that song? What are the things that are coming in the subconscious? Because all that is pointing Libra. Those are all messages from the divine, pointing this character toward, like, coming out of that little bit of funk or feeling lost or feeling unseen or feeling like the divine doesn't have their back. And the divine is like, but we do. You aren't paying attention right to notice that we've got your back all the time. We're constantly trying to give you opportunities to recognize that we're right here with you, Libra. The divine is always right there with Libra, even if this feels very specific. In this storyline, it feels like we have a Libra who felt very forsaken by the divine. And this says, if Libra steps outside and just looks up at the night sky, they might be able to see, literally, in the Milky Way or in the stars or in the galaxy, they may see something. Hang on, we got to change decks real quick. They may see something that is a reassurance from the divine, like, Libra, you're actually in the process of healing, sweetheart. We didn't, that what is that poem? Is it called Footsteps? Where, a person is like talking to, God or their creator, and they're saying, how come, on the footsteps of my life in the sand, how come sometimes I only see one, you're walking beside me, so I see 2 sets of footsteps, and then sometimes I only see one. How come you left me? And the creator says, I didn't leave you, that's when I carried you. So I don't know. Is this Libra needing to have reassurance that they're actually being wow, okay, what are the odds on that? We literally just got Libra. So I went for a deck that I thought we needed a message from the cosmos, right? This is like the eyeball of the cosmos and everything. So I went for this, and this is all different constellations. So we literally could have gotten any constellation to come out. You watched me shuffle, and what we ended up with was Libra. So the cosmos has got their eye on Libra in the nicest of ways. The scales, the core. The Libra constellation represents the clarity of good judgment. Libras are highly selective, diplomatic, and fair, but their usual temperance can also give way to prejudice and drama. So this is kind of, in the most gentle of senses, it's like the divine is saying, sweetheart, the things that have perhaps made our Libra unhappy right now, it's not that the universe has forsaken them or turned their back. In fact, the universe is very much there to support the Libra, but in the, having a fair and balanced mind is a pretty heavy burden also, because it's going to be like, well, I can see it this way, but I can also see it that way. And it's almost like maybe our Libra has talked themselves in and out of decisions, and then kind of gotten frustrated and said, this is too much, this is too overwhelming. Why can't I catch a break? Why do I have to be the one to either make everything fair, or why is it that I have to think so hard and then I don't even know what the right answer is? How come the universe won't help me and give me a sign and guidance? And the sign and guidance on this one is that it could be Libra themselves, like, weaponizing their own gift, right? Like, I'm a Virgo, right? And they say that us Virgos are master, at filing information and categorizing. And then if we get too narrowly focused, we can just categorize all day long. We can put everything in file folders and color code them and alphabetize them, but maybe we never got to the work that was inside of those files. We can do a lot of make work, but never get the job done. Even though we're hard workers, we have to be careful that we don't use our gift of, you know, organizational skills, which, by the way, I don't have any of that. That's why I always say I don't feel like a Virgo, because there's almost none of the Virgo traits really represent me very well. But still, I am a Virgo, and this is what it says about me. And I will say that I think that that's like a sensible thing to be mindful of. When do our gifts become things that we are misusing? You know, when does being somebody who wants to do a job really well become like a really intense perfectionist that is so nitpicky that they can't ever just enjoy life? You know, and I'm not saying any of that is Virgo, or excuse me, a Libra. I'm just giving different examples of the things that I think the universe is gently saying, Libra, you are definitely not ignored. We are with you. We are trying to give you different options. We want you to not feel like you're in a rut. You are not without other choices. If you're feeling bogged down, it's okay to not be the person who has to make everything balanced and perfect down to every penny. It's okay to actually maybe step away from something that became too big and too hard to balance and say, wait a second, maybe I'm the one who doesn't need to balance all this. Maybe that's what the issue is. So it's very supportive. It's very, it relaxes all the energy around this Libra right now. That's what I got on this one. Anyway, next up, let's go ahead and go to Scorpio. Scorpio is coming in at 4602. Scorpios. Hey, Christopher, glad you like it. Hi, Rach. Great to see you, honey. Hi, Manisha. I'm so glad you're here. Manisha K, did I say your name right? I'm sorry, I'm reading and my little eyeballs weren't tracking properly. Please forgive me if I mispronounced your name. All right, Scorpio, since I am back in town now, I wanted to go ahead and say hello to everybody and do a quick check-in with what is the kind of just the overall message of whatever has perhaps changed or taken on a new shape in each character's life. And for our Scorpio, we have got salt. Salt has much to do with antimicrobial properties. It has to do with, you know, seasoning. They always say salt is the vehicle that drives the flavor over the tongue. That's why you add a little salt like chocolate and you make it more flavorful, or it helps to, you know, make a flavor pop in your mouth. Salt is also considered to be like protective. And of course, considering, like, you know, we have salty tears and we have salty sweat. It's a detoxification process. Considering the ocean is, or the earth, I should say, has, you know, more water to it than anything, and that's a salty ocean. There must be something to that, right? So a really important salty element. And even here we've got somebody who's been like infusing their salt with crystals, cleansing their crystals. So I'm going to say this has much to do with a cleansing process that's been going on. Sorry, my eyeball's itching all of a sudden. My right eye. Let's take a look. We have got the Nine of Wands and we got the High Priestess. Okay, so I feel like somebody is doing a spiritual cleanse right now, doing a spiritual healing right now, letting their subconscious or this could be a powerful intuitive. The Scorpio could be a powerful intuitive. They could be spending some time taking like an air bath early in the morning or watching sunrise, and it's like they feel like the rays of the sun are like cleansing them from their eyeballs, through their brain, through their entire skin and their body. It's like I'm hearing that song by Katie Lang, wash me clean, mend my tarnished dreams. You swim through my veins. I can't think of the title of that song. I love it. It's an amazing song. I think it's one of Katie Lang's best. Four of Swords. Yeah, it's a healing energy right now that is absolutely smoothing its way out. It absolutely, I will say, there's a quietness here. There's maybe somebody's, you know, like got Himalayan salt lamp in their house, or maybe they're taking some kind of like soak in mineral waters or doing something, but it's all of those are acts of healing. And the thing about this particular card, the Four of Swords, can be about a time of silence, but we're not talking because we're actually finally able to listen to the messages coming in from the universe. So sometimes the healing energy, in this case I would say, is coming from like the terrestrial minerals of earth. It's kind of like a nature healing or something that is like calming our character's energetic vibration and cleansing it. Remember that the crystals are there, so like recalibrating and re-energizing the frequencies around Scorpio. So they might be in a place where they want to spend some time by themselves, but it's because they're listening more to like the sweet songs of the universe instead of listening to a bunch of like it's really fun to be entertained. It's really fun to listen to all kinds of, talking heads and, all kinds of news and all kinds of different films and things that we can hear. But if that becomes too much and is too much of a bombardment, because this Scorpio could be a really powerful intuitive or empath, and they kind of need to just cleanse that. They need to stop hearing all the other information flowing at them so they can instead just hear the universe. We got a 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, this has just been kind of like a depleted Scorpio, and they're realizing it's not that I am lacking in anything. It's that I've been drained. I've been freaking drained. This Scorpio could have given way too much of their time, their money, their energy to everybody else. And they're just now getting into that headspace where it's like, oh, wait a minute. I need to undo some of this insane amount of draining energy that I've been going through. There is a like a wounded energy here, but I think it comes from a subconscious vibe. It's like, I feel like this is an overwhelmed empath that we're talking about in this storyline. But thankfully, they are brilliant enough to say, hey, as an empath, I also know that I got to listen to myself, and that means I got to heal me. That's really awesome that we have a character that is savvy enough to know when to go ahead and pull back. I feel like this is a Scorpio who's going to be like lessening some of their like busy social schedule and maybe kind of freeing up some free time so they can just take care of themselves for a bit. All right, next up, let's go to Ophiuchus, coming in at 5129. All right, Ophiuchus, really great to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Oh, Sandy Nesta, love that song. You two's amazing. And Sweetest Thing is such a great piece of music. Hi, Maria. Great to see you, sweetheart. I'll see all the members in the member corner right after this, and I'll do the members corner over in Tarot Dog as well. We're just going to finish up with these Zodiacs first. So Ophiuchus, because I've been away for a couple days, I thought it would be nice to come back and start out with, hey, what's different? What's been going on with the Zodiacs? And so for Ophiuchus, we have the element air. Aries got this, as did, I want to say Gemini also. So what has changed for Ophiuchus, because this looks like a little perfume bottle, maybe somebody has opened up perfume and let out some really nice scents. Maybe this is talking about them own selves being their own beautiful, unique perfumery, the essence of our own life that is finally being set free to fly high. But I usually look at the butterflies as transformation, but these butterflies, being that they are that brilliant blue, and blue is a really rare color in nature, and in fact, the thing that makes these butterflies blue, it's not a pigment, it's actually the arrangement of like the serrated edges of their wings, if you look at them on a microscopic level, and the way that it catches and reflects light is what makes them appear blue. Anyway, I just had to mention that because it's a really cool thing that I was reading up about for the color blue. So just as a side note, there is a little bit of, it's not an illusion. What it is it's a masterful engineering. So if something has changed in Ophiuchus's world, it appears that either some fabulous thoughts, since this is the element of air, so that's thoughts and communication, but there is this fantastic, brilliant idea that perhaps needs to be unleashed from Ophiuchus, and maybe it's Ophiuchus's own thoughts, maybe it's something unique to Ophiuchus, maybe it's a unique talent that they need to go ahead and uncork and let that kind of like take shape into the universe. Wow, we have a 5 of Swords. In this case, hang on, we got to get one more, because this might be that Ophiuchus needed to do, I think it was John Lennon who did some really, what do they call it? Like primal yelling, primal screaming as like a healing process. I think he actually did a little bit of that in what is it? Mama, you had me, but I never had you. I think it's called Mother, right? That John Lennon song. Anyway, we have a 9 of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, there is some kind of unleashing, uncorking a hurt, a pain, and surrendering it to the universe. If Ophiuchus had been harboring anger, um, and this looks pretty fair to be harboring some anger, but it behooves them now to release it, and they know it, and they're releasing it in the most incredible way, the most ingenious way, not as wrath, not as like, let me go and whatever, smash a guitar on the ground or something. It's not a destructive force. It's like, I guess maybe that's the reason the John Lennon aspect comes to mind, because what an incredible singer, what an incredible performer. When you channel different, like, profound energy into something that millions of people will love for the rest of human civilization, that's an amazing thing to transform pent up energy, stored up energy, energy that needs to be released, energy of hurt and pain, something cathartic that transforms into something beautiful. That is a remarkable thing. So that's what Ophiuchus is doing right now. They are either finding a way to release pain, hurt, anger, and they are giving that up to the universe, but they're doing it in a creative way that is not just like, hey, universe, you take this. I think that they're making something. We got a Page of Pentacles. Yeah, they could be writing their life story. They could be penning the greatest song that we'll ever hear. They could be making a life plan. They could be, sometimes this is the reason that people say, you know what, I didn't get treated nice in my life, and I was angry for so many years, and so then I finally decided, you know what I need to do with this anger? I need to do something nice. I need to start a dog shelter. I need to give to animals because I recognize that animal inside of me. I recognize, the need to protect yourself, and sometimes you can't protect your own self and you need help from others, and we don't always get that, but I'm going to be a protector and a defender of others. It's like Ophiuchus could be creating a business plan, a life plan, or they simply are, like I said, with a John Lennon aspect, they're writing one of the greatest songs ever. Whatever this is, Ophiuchus is definitely transforming the feeling of anger over a loss. This 5 of Swords is not a typical 5 of Swords. It is a tremendous loss that was experienced, and with that, it's not just like an angry fight that led to a loss. It was a huge amount of hurt and pain and stress, and it's finally being released. If this was anger directed at oneself, Ophiuchus is also saying, why would I be so mad at myself that I would cause my own self distress? What I need to do is take that distress and turn it into a positive. So it's very, I would say that this is Ophiuchus right now. What is changing inside of them is they are taking negative emotion and they are doing something with it that builds, constructs. Maybe they're baking something, maybe they're painting something, maybe they're doing something creative, or like I said, they're developing a business plan. But the I'll say the fuel in their gas tank is actually the frustration or the hurt, but they are going to burn off that fuel and drive their life forward into a beautiful place. That is amazing. That is a really nice one. All right, next up, let's go to Sag. Sag is coming in at 58. All right, Sagittarius, thank you guys so much for being here. So Sag, I just got back. I've been gone for a couple days, and I wanted to begin by just doing a kind of a brief touch base for each zodiac to say what's changed for each zodiac, what might, not necessarily over the weekend, although maybe, but let's take a peek. So for Sag, what's changed is, we have the staff, and this is not just a staff. It's maybe it's talking about, play on words here. Maybe it's talking about somebody's co-workers, their staff that works for them, but I don't think so. It's a magical wand. It's the staff of power, but the staff that is divinely guided by a crystalline power. So it's a higher vibrating frequency. I want to say that this Sag could be standing there in a really profoundly, I don't want to say this. Yes, they're in a position of power and authority. That's true. We got a King of Pentacles sideways. But it's power and authority over, how would I say this? Okay, so you know how in life we have, people that have a position of authority over us in many walks of life. For example, you go into a doctor's office and the doctor has greater knowledge. So they're the ones, in a position of, they've been highly trained. We're coming to them for their expertise. So in that case, we can consider ourselves like in this diminutive role, but really we're an active participant because we're the patient, right? So the change in how Sag sees themselves, they don't give away their power and say, oh, well, I'm just the foolish little peon who doesn't have any information. I'm just coming in like a blank little slate and I have to have somebody else tell me what to do or how to do it. Oh no, this is Sag saying, wait a minute, I have a tremendous amount of power. I am the active participant in my care, for example, because I am the patient living in the body. I am the conveyor of information, and the doctor is my collaborator who can help me talk to my body, the two of us. I can be the mouthpiece, the doctor can ask questions. It's like they can interview my body, and I have this amazing role of being able to be the translator between my body and my doctor. I'm not saying that's how it works. I'm just saying that this is an example of a changing perception. This is not to talk about health related stuff. In my fictional stories, we don't go down the road of health and medicine and all that stuff at all, but it's just an example of a positive perception on how power, every character has their own power, and it can actually be used in this wonderful collaborative way because every person has something to contribute. And that's where Sag is like, I have a lot to contribute. I'm not in this deficit, nor am I the person fully in charge. I am actually a powerful person, as is everyone else, and we can share this incredible collaboration. Everyone walks away feeling more powerful, feeling more respected, feeling more heard, because we understand, we come to the table with a mentality that I bring something of value into this dialogue. And let's say this is in the workplace. This could be if Sag is going in for like a job interview. Remember, they're bringing their wealth of experience and their expertise to an employer who needs that expertise. So all of a sudden, the Sag feels like, of course they want to talk to me because they like what I have to offer. They'd like to hear more about what I have to offer. And I, in turn, would love to work for an awesome company. I would be excited to be able to do what I do well and really shine. So if we have this mutual respect for each other, I'm interviewing them just as they're interviewing me at this interview. It just feels really good. It feels like, characters that can have a conversation together. With this, nobody is in a diminutive position. Nobody is feeling like, well, what are you going to offer me? You need to start the conversation. It's very mutual. And that, starting out from a place of I have value and I bring this into the dialogue means I don't have to wait for you to ask me the right question or wait for you to tell me I have value. I know that I have value. I know that we're both here. It goes without saying. Look at this Ace of Wands. I love this. This feels like characters that both are coming to the table for the same reason. So let's say this is in love and romance. Let's say this is a brand new potential passionate exchange. This says both people are attracted to each other. And Sag is like, well, of course they're attracted to me. I'm a very attractive person. They are interested in me. I don't have to question. If they ask me for my phone number, I don't need to worry about like, oh my gosh, but did they ask 10 other people for their phone numbers? Is this person a player? Look, Sag doesn't have to go down that thought process at all. This person wanted Sag's number for a reason, because Sag already knows I have value. Of course I do. I chose to give them my number. Maybe we exchange numbers. Now it doesn't matter who calls who first. We both already said we were interested. We can work off of the facts. The facts are, I have something to contribute. You already expressed that you were interested in what I had to contribute, or at least seeing if we could, be a thing. Let's just see. But we both know that we want to try this out. So it takes away the stress, the angst of, what are they thinking of me? They probably don't really like me. I don't think that they're really going to call me, blah, blah, blah. Sag will probably pick up the phone and call this person. If Sag is like, needing to check up on a job, an application that they submitted, Sag will have no problem walking in being like, hey, I just thought I'd touch base with you guys. You know, I sent in an application. I really like everything your company has. I could see myself growing there, so I thought I'd check in. Did you guys already fill the position, or are you guys still doing interviews? Wondered if I'm in your list. You know, it just feels so powerful and so comfortable. Sag is not giving away their power by pursuing the things that they might want. That is a wonderful turn of mind in that. I love that. I love the fact that there's a lot of equal power, and a lack of, or I'll say it's taking away the fear that maybe I don't have value, or maybe something doesn't want me. Sag will pursue it and discover whether or not they want the thing that also seems to want them. But it seems like this has been a tentative starting point, and Sag is kind of gently taking charge of stuff to pursue things that they're interested in with no worries of, like, oh, do I look desperate? Oh, does this make me look stupid? It's like, no, it makes you look freaking confident as sorry, I was gonna say confident as fuck, but sorry, I don't know where that came from. Okay, let's move on. The potty mouth pirate Kate just showed up. All right, here we go. We're gonna go into Capricorn next. We got 105:12. Okay, Capricorn, and I'll timestamp these afterwards. Capricorns. So I was away over the weekend, and I thought, since I'm back, let me do a quick check-in for each zodiac, and we're just going to ask what is the whatever has changed right now. We'll just take a look at it that way. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. Okay, here we go. For Capricorn, we have map. Okay, so what's changed is Capricorn might be planning a trip somewhere. They might be looking at topography. They might be looking at flying somewhere. They might be looking at the map of their life. Sometimes I also think that, like, you know, like our lifeline in our poem, or looking at the map of where we've been in life. This could be somebody recounting like their memories. This could be somebody looking at their genealogy. This could be somebody looking at literally geography, but it's for a purpose, right? If we're looking at a map, it's because we want to see the structure and organization of locations, which, you know, time and distance are related, right? So this has to do with like the grand scope of Capricorn's life. Like, how much time would it take me to get from A to B? Is that the better route, or should I go this route? Could be somebody checking their GPS to find a quicker route, but I'm thinking it's more in the macro. Like, Capricorn is seeing, maybe they're thinking about their life as, okay, I'm this old right now. I spent this many years accruing this life experience. Then I spent a year thinking about this other experience, and maybe I want to make some changes because, you know, time is money, money is time. Time and distance are related. Let me make sure I'm growing from an experience. Let me see where an experience has taken me. Have I stayed in one spot after an experience, instead of moving forward the way it was intended to project me forward in life? It feels, I don't know, I like the fact that this Capricorn is, first off, I have a real passion for maps, okay? I'm kind of a collector of things like that, maps, compasses. This is a gift to me from somebody on my channel. I literally have a compass that sits near me. You know, I almost wore my map necklace today. So, and I'm not a Capricorn, I'm just mentioning, to me, maps always represent adventure. So I have a really good vibe when I look at this message. We have a page of pentacles, and we have somebody holding a wishbone, sitting there with an open book. Maybe it's an atlas, maybe it's a astrolabe, maybe it's something to do with directions, maybe it's a map, you know, or maybe it's a book of their life, but they're holding a wishbone. And, you know, in the United States, we usually have this tradition during Thanksgiving, which doesn't come until next month, but where when we're done eating the turkey that is, you know, traditional to eat around Thanksgiving, you take a hold of the wishbone of the turkey, and two people pull on it, and whoever gets a bigger piece when it breaks, that's the person whose wish is going to come true. At least that's how it was in my family. I don't know if everybody has a different spin on that. We have the Chariot. It's almost like they're I feel like this is the equivalent of tossing a coin in the air and seeing if it lands heads or tails to decide where they go. This Capricorn is trying to figure out where they go next, but it is very much like, I wish I knew, maybe I can't figure it out, so I'm going to have to go ahead and let the fates decide. And this is Cancerian energy, but this is also calmly and powerfully moving forward. Ah, happy Thanksgiving to you, Kimmy. Yes, that is today your Canadian Thanksgiving. I know you guys are in October. Is today that? Oh my gosh, if it is, that's wild. Um, Please forgive me that I don't know your guys' day. I just know that you are a whole month before us. We've got a Queen of Pentacles up in the reverse on this. This feels like our character is going to be um, making this decision through chance, through luck. And I think it's because this feels like Capricorn is saying, I'm not going to say that they doubt their own ability to decide, but I'm going to say maybe they're saying, look, sometimes in life when I've been the person who decided, I didn't go the right way. I ended up choosing wrong, and then I kind of like was, oh man, that's a bummer. So I'd rather give it a roll of the dice. That's what I'm picturing. Oh my gosh, Kimmy, that's amazing. So happy Thanksgiving to all of my Canadian friends out there, you guys. Oh, how awesome. We have Judgment. This did come out a little bit sideways, okay? But it's a beautiful card. Let's look at it upright. This is very much surrendering it to the universe. Our character can't decide. It's not that they can't, it's that they don't want to have to make a decision when they don't know which route would be my greatest and highest good. So, universe, I surrender it to you. Angels, guide me. Wherever I hear the piece of music, at a certain time, I think I'm just saying that because we have the horn of Gabriel playing here, but this is usually a resurrection of a connection that comes up for a character. If this is about, I'm going to give it a try, I'm going to send a message, I'm going to text somebody, I don't know what'll come out of this. Do I text it? Do I not? Do I send a message? Do I speak from my heart? Or do I just make peace with this and move on from it? I gotta say, they are really deferring to the universe on this, saying, maybe I'll go ahead and cast the dice and not worry about whatever comes back to me. It feels, because of this Chariot card upright, this is like a yes. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and do this because I have to go ahead and go after whatever my wish is. I don't know that I'll get it. Sometimes I wish for stuff that isn't in my greatest and highest good, but I'll make peace with that too. However this pans out is how it pans out. Not everything in life, even though we try to chart the best path forward, let's say this is more about the way a character gets to the end goal versus what the end goal is. Let's say that map is like, I need to end on the top of that mountain, but when I put in my GPS, it shows me 3 different routes. Some are windier, some are flatter, but are technically more mileage, but I could go faster because it's not as windy a road. But what if there's road construction or detours? Sometimes we can't tell how things are going to go. So at some point we have to just say, well, I'm going to close my eyes and randomly put my finger on this map or this route or that, and I'm going to go with it. But I'm going to do this because the big thing is I'm going to move forward. I don't know how things will work out. Sometimes I don't get what I want, but I already know that. But I trust that the divine is going to help me to see the lesson I'm supposed to see in this. I'm going to go ahead. This feels like it could be about somebody saying, I'd like to resurrect a connection, or I'd like to be able to make peace with something. But it could be the way Capricorn makes peace with life as a whole. We move in the directions that we have to, or that we feel compelled to. Wheel of Fortune. This is, again, totally putting trust in the divine. Wheel of Fortune is that it is divine timing to move forward. Anything that Capricorn does is going to be of value, is going to be right. Whether it is exactly what Capricorn envisions as right, there is no real wrong in this. As long as our Capricorn is moving forward toward things that they wish for, they're following the path that they must for who they are. So it's right for them. And I think there's this huge sense of freedom now in knowing that, well, I'm going to send this text to somebody, or I'm going to reach out to somebody, and whether I hear back from them or not, I'll still be glad I did it because I'm moving forward any way we slice it. You know what? I don't know what'll happen, but I'm going to say I need to get moving along. The divine says, as long as you're living your life, as long as you're trying to progress, You're doing what you need to do with the information you've got for who you are. And to a certain extent, you just got to give it a shot. You just got to roll with it. Obviously, this is just somebody who's making a decision to move forward in their life. Actually, it's so funny. I just now realized the back of this deck I've been using is kind of like an aerial view of either a desert, or we could say it's something from another planet. But again, like a topography. There's definitely seeing everything from a higher view that comes through really strong in this. But there's a lot of support from the divine, because I think Capricorn is surrendering the need to have like everything be perfect and accurate. And instead they're saying, I'm going to trust that however this goes is going to be right, because I'm surrendering to this. All right, next up, I've got Aquarius coming in at 1:14:39. All right, Aquas, here we go. Aquarians, thank you guys so much for hanging with me. Really great to see you guys. I am back after having been away for a little bit, and I thought I would kind of like say hello to everybody by doing a quick card pull for each zodiac. So we start out with the mushrooms, and this is all to ask what has changed. Mushrooms are really amazing things. The network of mushrooms that are underneath the soil can be massive. They have kind of incredible abilities to like use their chemical signatures to convey messages to other swaths of underground mushroom plateaus, I guess I'll call them, for lack of a better term. I can't think of the like biological term for it, but they also can like end up in places where they need to help detoxify something in the soil. Obviously, mushrooms have a lot of awesome properties. Some of them, of course, though, not so awesome and are very poisonous. But mushrooms tend to grow in, places that are kind of like moist and a little darker. And sometimes, they say they grow on the dung heaps. They grow on manure piles, things like that. And so there's a lot to be said for all of the duality. It's like making these special little perfect gems from things that we consider to be refuse or unnecessary, and then magical things can come of things that we almost discard. So it could be the message is like we overlook some real gems in life, but in this case, Aquarius is not going to be overlooking that. Now, this could be somebody who literally is interested in things like biology and the ecosystem. It could play a role in that. Maybe our Aquarius is getting more interested in things along those lines. It's about transformation. We have the Death card and we have the Ten of Pentacles. And look at the mushrooms again. How cohesive is this? Different decks, different card designers, different everything, but we've got some crossover. We've seen this a couple times throughout this series today that I've been doing, and I think that's always interesting. So we have like a little mushroom village. I gotta say, this feels really nice. This feels like Aquarius is looking at everything and saying there are some serious gems that have come out of some of the toughest times in my life, the things in my life that I thought were just like a big old pile of horse manure, and instead those have been the moments that have transformed me the most. Those have been the moments that have actually made me realize a bunch of stuff that other people don't care about or discard have a ton of value in my life. I'm never going to discard the tough experiences of my life. I'm never going to say, oh, well, that's crappy. You would never want that to happen. Actually, it turns out that's where some of my greatest revenue comes from. Okay, I'll use this as an example because this makes me think of it. When I was young, like my first job I ever had was working in restaurants, and I was a waitress, and I worked in the time that I was a waitress, I worked in some really high-end places and also just some very local kind of little, like not even cafes, but just kind of like, what do you call them? The Grubby Spoon or something like that. And you know what? Honestly, for all the really fine food and fine dining and everything, I actually found that I much preferred working in like the more local little, you get to know everybody. You get to know their families. They come in every single day, some of them, and it's just, you see a bigger volume, but you see like the people that are there you know, and for the day-to-day aspects of their life. And it's like you really build a community sometimes when you work as like a waiter or waitress in like a small local place that does huge amounts of business, but it's, you know, less expensive. Maybe it's not a huge special occasion thing, but instead it's so special because you get to meet people and have bigger relationships for like the day-to-day. And I've discovered that I actually liked that aspect of the job. It's not to knock fine dining. I mean, that's awesome too, but it's just different, you know? And I feel like, I think that Aquarius is maybe saying, what I've discovered is, you know, you don't always have to strive to only work at the places that are going to be $45 per plate. It doesn't mean that other things somehow are, you know, the silly little mushrooms. You know, if you don't work in some whatever Fortune 500 company, then there's no way you could have job satisfaction. You know, there's a fallacy to think that we have to go for the most expensive this, the most, you know, highest upper echelon. There is so much value to be had and so much satisfaction to be had in this case, kind of like being within a community that feels really comfortable. This could be essentially our character is choosing to either put down roots, remain in an area. Aquarius could be saying, you know what, I really love living here. And what I realized is after going out and seeing parts of the world, what has changed is I want to come home. I love having like a smaller community. I love living in a, maybe they're downsizing, maybe they're simplifying life after having reached great heights. It just comes across like there's this real earthy connection to something a little smaller. And that's where the Ten of Pentacles is. And it's funny how sometimes in life, you know, like if Aquarius thought they had to go someplace fancy, glitzy, glammy, it turns out they did that and they've changed, they've come full circle and they've said, I don't need the glitz and the glammy. What I need is the stuff that really speaks to my heart. We've got that Knight of Wands here. And this is like, I love this ferocious battle cat that he's riding. This feels so like very passionate. Like this could be Aquarius is discovering or will be discovering that what's changed for them is they can have huge adventures right where they are in their own little backyard. They can find the love of their life that turns out to be their next door neighbor. It feels like somebody who has gone from thinking that they had to achieve some huge grand title and legacy to realizing, wait a second, everything I have is kind of everything I want is kind of in a smaller space where it's more soothing and it's more heart-centered and I actually have everything that I already need. I want to get one card out of this deck. I didn't do this for any other zodiac. I haven't used this deck yet today, but ooh, we have taking risks and we have power. And birds are migratory, and we have this bird, sorry, it's such a pretty card, I want to make sure I show it. We have this bird flying over the canyon here. Birds are migratory. They do come back home. And if our characters realized that they've had this brilliant lightning strike of an idea that, you know what I actually love? I love the simpler life. I love, you know, maybe I want to go back home. Maybe I want to go back and rebuild my life where it was. That's sometimes, you know, characters think, oh, that would be failing. I can't, you know, you're supposed to move away from your hometown. If you stay in your hometown, ooh, you know, there's that stigma, like, you know, the small town people. And it's like, what do you mean? That's an amazing thing. Those are the real communities sometimes, you know, that you really develop and, you know, put down roots and then you have like a huge legacy. Oh, my family's been here for 7 generations. That street's named after my grandpa. You know, it just gives a whole different spin on the satisfaction of a different kind of legacy. Anyway, very nice. Next up, let's go ahead and go to Pisces. Pisces, last but not least, coming at 122. 41. All right, here we go. Sorry that you guys see me looking quizzical. Pisces, let's get into this for a moment and say, first off, it's nice to be back. I was away over the weekend. Really good to see you guys. All right, so Pisces, this is just to ask for each zodiac, what might have changed? We have got the element of fire, and this always makes me think of like the heart on fire, the flaming heart, even though it's not, it's actually in a little like dragon vase. This also makes me think of sterno, like if somebody's a caterer and they're keeping food warm with those little sterno cans. But in this particular image, we have it set kind of like an altar. This could be like the eternal flame. This could be passion. What has changed perhaps for Pisces is, well, this is Year of the Dragon. I gotta say, passionate, fun, all of that. Substitute any of those words. We have got a 10 of Wands sideways, a flowing energy of like washing away obstacles, even though new obstacles will probably present themselves. So it feels almost like new adventures, new, you know how we like to sometimes do puzzles. Humans like to be creative. We like to be challenged a little bit. We don't want stuff that's too easy or gets boring. We like to also, though, be able to feel like we make progress and we overcome hurdles. But then if we overcame a hurdle and we never had another one, we'd be bored out of our gourds. So we want new struggles. It feels like I'm excited. I'm putting this stuff done. I'm checking it off my list for this year, but now I want to turn my attention to the next things that I still want to get done. I almost feel like this is going to be a Pisces who is putting a bunch of stuff on their calendar and knocking it off, like one after another. They're just knocking them out of the park. We got the moon sideways. It's like there's stuff that is coming to light that I want to deal with, and then there's other stuff that I don't even know about that's going to pop up, and I can't wait. I feel like somebody's like rubbing their little hands together, like, I don't know what comes next. I will be doing a big old full moon series because we're about to have our brightest moon of the year. It's a super moon. It's a hunter's moon. It's coming up on the 17th. I will do a series for each zodiac for that. And so maybe we're going to have like a to be continued message for Pisces specifically. I'm going to have to I'll jot down, in fact, let me make a note to myself right now. Pisces will be the first, also because it's Piscean energy, although I believe it is the full moon in Aries, I want to say. But Pisces will be the first zodiac that I do because of this storyline, okay? Hanged Man, there's Pisces again. Okay, and again, you notice how we have all these sideways cards. Pisces, so far, Pisces is the only zodiac who's had all sideways cards, so that's kind of meaningful to me as well. Lots of flowing information in and out, but this is it's a very Pisces-centric story right now. Hang on, let me get another one here, because okay, Pisces is coming in loud and clear. 9 of Swords. There's something to do with stress, and then these two came out sideways again. We've got the Knight of Cups, and we've got the Page of Cups. Okay, what has changed for Pisces? They're pretty passionate about what they do for the last couple months of this year. It has to do with them stepping into some, I'm going to say, like knocking out some emotionally draining situations, but then replacing them with some new emotional like question marks. And I say that because the cups are all about emotions, and Pisces is a water sign, but the fact that we've got, you know, these Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, this is about where our emotions are taking us, and there is some stress. Pisces is ready to deal with it, though. Not all stress is scary. This feels like, I mean, Pisces might be ready to date somebody new, and they're realizing that, and they're like, yep, I'm letting go of the old, I'm ready for the new. But guess what? With the new, there's going to be new stress as well. Do I want to date this person? Who's going to make the first move? What's going to happen? What if the ex comes back? Do I forgive them? Do I accept their apology? Do I move on? It feels like Pisces is ready, though, to go ahead and address anything that is emotional, anything that's been giving them stress. And there's this kind of acceptance. Pisces says, I'll know what to do when the information arrives. I am ready to deal with this. If I want to sit down and have a heart-to-heart conversation with somebody from my past, now is a great time for Pisces to go ahead and do that. If Pisces wants to connect to somebody and, you know, do the tough work of conversing, they can do it. We got a 3 of Swords. It's about, I think by the end of this year, Pisces is determined that they will have laid to rest anything that was painful. They will have faced anything that was stressing them out. They will have been willing to have the tough conversations, to either say goodbye to the people that they aren't going to keep with them into next year. You know, like if it's a lover, if it's a relationship, they are ready and willing to say goodbye to the things that they need to. Yeah, the sun is sideways. I want to let go of certain things, even if it sucks. I want to have goodbye conversations. I want to go ahead and allow myself to have these closures so that new beginnings can begin, even though I know new beginnings will come with their own set of hurdles. The fact that we've got the Chariot in the reverse, but the World card, again, everywhere I look, I see completely 2 different doors. I see Pisces willing to face, pausing, closing, not moving down a certain direction, and instead moving down a different direction. But both of those things are a little bit difficult, but this Pisces is ready to do it. Specifically feels very energized and very heart-centered, like I know this is the right thing for me to do. I let go of one thing and I gravitate toward another. It's time I do all this. I'm ready. I'm powerful enough. I'm strong enough to face things, even things that could be painful. I'm powerful enough to deal with my emotions. I'm not afraid of emotions, and I'll know the right move to make when it presents itself. But universe, let's wrap up some cycles, and universe, let's begin some new ones. I bring it on. Pisces is ready for that. There could be an Aries, because every time I look at this, also I'm thinking about my dog right now, because he's quiet. He's been quiet for an entire hour and a half, which is unusual for him. So I have to go double check if he is doing something naughty. You guys, hey Aries. Let's see. Maybe my baby will just show up. But there is strong Aries energy, and Leo and Sag, just because we have fire energy here. So that could play a role in things as well. Aries, where are you, baby? Come see mama. It's funny. Lots of times I'm like, oh, please let him stay asleep. While I do a longer video, please let him stay asleep so he's not barking so much. And now I'm like, where's my baby's bark? I like it. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Lots of love to everybody. I will get these time stamped now. I appreciate you guys so much. It's really good to be home. Thank you, honey. Yeah, and I'll see all of you in the members corner for our members videos next. And so I'll see you in just about 10 minutes or so. All right, you guys, take care. Bye for the moment.